Hello guys, so this is going to be our first lesson for CS 252 Web Systems and Technology. So for lesson 1, we will be discussing the introduction to PHP. As you have all know, PHP has been discussed to you or should have been discussed to you already during your web design and programming subject. So it's an introduction. It should have an introduction already, but if not, that's fine because we are still going to have a review about PHP on this course. So to start with, let us understand the objectives of our lesson. So of course, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to understand the use of PHP, learn the important characteristics of PHP, understand how PHP are applied, and of course, download and install PHP and XAMPP. So that should be the objectives of this lesson. So for the introduction of PHP, we need to understand saan nga ba ito ginagamit, no? Kailan siya dapat gamitin, at kung sa anong mga applications ba natin to pwedeng gawin. So of course, in PHP, that means hypertext preprocessor. It is a programming language that allows web servers or web developers rather to create dynamic content that interacts with databases. Well, PHP is basically used for developing web-based software applications. Now, this tutorial or lesson will help you build your base with PHP. But of course, before you continue, you should have a basic understanding of at least the following, no? HTML, cascading style sheet, and JavaScript. So, ito naman ay medyo na-discuss na during the previous semester. We will just continue on using this on these topics, no? PHP is also a widely used open source scripting language and are executed on the server. Well, the good thing about PHP is that it is free to download and use. So why do we need to learn PHP? PHP started out as a small open source project that evolved as more and more people found out how useful it was. So si Rasmus Lerdorf unleashed the first version of PHP way back in 1994. PHP is a must for students and working professionals to become a great software engineer, especially when they are working in web development domain. So, ilan yun sa mga reasons. Other reasons why we need to learn PHP is because of the following advantages. Number 1, PHP is a server scripting language, just like what I mentioned a while ago, that is embedded in HTML. So basically, dahil may knowledge na kayo sa HTML, mas madali na i-embed ito ang PHP in an HTML document. It is used to manage dynamic content, databases, session tracking, and even build an entire e-commerce website. Second, it is integrated with a number of popular databases including MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Sybase, Informix, and Microsoft SQL Server. Third, PHP is pleasingly zippy in its execution, especially when compiled as an Apache module on the Unix side. What do we mean by that? So that means the MySQL server once started, it executes even very complex queries with huge result sets in record-setting time. So number 4, PHP supports a large number of major protocols such as POP3, IMAP, and LDAP. What do we mean by these protocols? No, I'll just give you a quick view of these protocols para may idea kayo. So when we say POP3, that stands for Post Office Protocol 3 or third version. So others call it POP3. Para saan ba yun? It's actually the most commonly used protocol for receiving email over the internet. This standard protocol, which most email servers and their clients support, is used to receive emails from a remote server and then send it back to a local client. So, yun po yung purpose ng POP3. Yun namang IMAP or short for, stands for Internet Message Access Protocol, is also a protocol for accessing email or bulletin board messages from, possibly a shared or mail servers or service. IMAP also allows a client email program to access remote message stores as if they were local. So, yun yung ating IMAP. And then, yun namang LDAP or Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. It's actually a software protocol for enabling anyone to locate data about organizations, individuals, and other resources, such as files and devices in a network. Well, it whether be a public internet or on a corporate intranet. So, yun po yung ating POP3, IMAP, and LDAP. So, you don't have to worry about it. No? As you learn all about the web technologies, mas maintindihan nyo kung ano bang ibig sabihin na. So, the next advantage of learning PHP is, of course, PHP is very forgiving. It tries to be as forgiving as possible and will run your code the way your web browser understands it. Kagandahan din sa PHP, the syntax of it is C-like. So, if you already know how to program using C language, they have the same syntax. So, hindi na kayo masyadong mahihirapan mag-adjust. So, those are the things that, the reasons why we need to learn PHP. Okay. And in addition to that, I'll give you the different characteristics of PHP. Which makes it dynamic and very easy to learn for the web developers. So, yung number 1 po natin is the simplicity of PHP. Well, it actually provides a lot of predefined functions to secure your data. It is actually compatible with many third-party applications and can easily integrate with another software. PHP script, in PHP script, well, there's actually no need to include libraries like C. Special compilation directives like Java, no? So, PHP engine starts execution from the escape sequence and end with the closing escape sequence. In PHP script, there is no need to write main function. And also, you can work with PHP without creating a class. That's what makes it simple. The next is its efficiency. So, in the PHP 4th version, it introduced resource allocation mechanisms and more pronounced support for object-oriented programming. In addition to session management features, eliminating unnecessary memory allocation becomes more efficient for PHP. So, in fact, hindi na nga ito PH4 or PHP4. Meron na tayong latest version ngayon, which is the 8th version. So, meron din tayong security in using PHP because several trusted data encryption options are supported by it already. So you can use a lot of third-party applications. Sorry, just to go back, I think that the recording has stopped. So again, you can use a lot of third-party applications to secure our data, allowing for securing the application itself. So, yung flexibility naman ng PHP is that we can say na ito ay very flexible language because of the PHP is an embedded language that you can embed with script. The PHP scripts can be embedded with HTML, katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina. Aside from HTML, you can embed it with your JavaScript, VML, XML, and many other scripting language. You can also run your PHP script in any device. So, pwede kayong mag-run using your mobile phones, tablets, laptops, personal computers, and others. Because of PHP script, it executes on the server, then after sending to the browser of your device. Kaya you don't really need like additional program just to run a PHP. The next characteristic is its familiarity. So just like what I've mentioned a while ago, if you already know how to program in C or Pascal, medyo luma na yun. Pero kung compare naman natin sa C++, medyo may similarity pa rin. Mas madali nyo nang maiintindihan yung PHP syntax kasi ganun lang din siya din-design, just like C and Pascal. And of course, one of the most important characteristic of PHP is that it is open source. So it's absolutely free. It's an open source language, so you can download it freely and there is really no need to buy a license or anything. And lastly, of course, even though it's a scripting language, it's actually object-oriented. It has the OOP features, and it became possible already from PHP 4 pa lang. So, with the introduction of the PHP 5 up to now, the developers have really beefed up the object-oriented features of PHP, which results in more speed and added features of the scripting language. So that's all, technically the most important characteristics of PHP. So now just a quick recap: its simplicity, efficiency, security, flexibility, familiarity, open source, and object-oriented are the important characteristics of PHP, so that beginners and advanced web developers are still using PHP as their main platform to create dynamic web pages. So why do we need to use PHP? Okay. Well, there are actually three most important features that make PHP more popular. Aside from those characteristics, it's actually cross-platform, which means you can run PHP scripts on any platform like Windows operating system, Linux, Macintosh, Solaris, and others. Aside from that, it has a large number of databases. Well, the internet service providers and the web hosting companies that support it. And another important factor is that it's easy to learn, implement, and again, open source. So, what we can just say is that PHP is an amazing and popular language, no? Because it's so powerful enough to be at the core of the biggest blogging system on the web, such as WordPress. It is also deep enough to run large social networks, and easy enough that even beginners can actually consider PHP to become its first server-side language. The next topic that we're gonna talk about are the applications of PHP. Saan nga ba natin pwedeng i-apply yung ating PHP script? Well, as mentioned before, PHP is one of the most widely used language over the web, and that's clear. So, the following are its functions. It performs functions such as from files on a system where it can create, open, read, write, and close them. It can also handle forms such as gather data from files, save data to a file. Through email, you can send data and return the data to the user. You can also add, delete, modify elements within your database through PHP. You can also access cookies, variables, and set cookies. And lastly, second to the last, using PHP, you can restrict users to access some pages of your websites, which is very important, no? If you don't really want others to just simply get those kind of data, you can do that in PHP. And then, of course, you can encrypt the data. So, yun po yung mga applications ng PHP natin. The next section of our discussion is going to be the installation of PHP. So before we proceed, go ahead and do that. What do we need? Well, to start using PHP, we need the following. We need a web host with PHP and MySQL support. So, pwedeng ito munang PHP natin at yung server muna natin. Yung MySQL, ipapasok na lang natin later on as we progress on the lesson. The first thing that you need to do is to install a web server on your own PC and then install PHP and MySQL. So, well, it actually depends on how you are comfortable with it. There are many ways to do this, and on my case, I will be just showing you how I did it on my end. No, actually, mas advisable talaga na magkaroon kayo ng web server muna doon sa inyong computer. But on my case, since I already have a web server on my end, I am actually using SAP for this. I will just show you first how to install a PHP from scratch. So, you either install SAMP or PHP first. Pero, mas maganda kung idiretso na siya sa SAMP. Yan lang, I wanted to show you this. So, para dun sa mga devices na hindi pa kaya yung SAMP, pwede naman tayong mag-create na muna ng program natin and just using PHP for the time being. In fact, kung hindi nyo to gustong i-download, pwede din kayong gumamit ng mga online compilers para sa PHP. I think online compilers ang tawag doon. I will just check it later on now. So, for this, ito muna yung gagawin natin, no? If you do not have a server that support PHP, then install muna natin si PHP. Para dun sa mga kaya ng idiretso ko, pwede nyo nang i-install yung SAMP. So, I will share to you kung saan ba pwedeng i-download yung ating mga software na kailangan. So, for the time being, unahin natin itong php.net. Okay? Punta tayo sa php.net na website. Punta po tayo dyan. So, sa php.net po natin, ito yun, php.net/downloads.php. So, we will be selecting the needed, the needed software for our PHP. Now, this is very important. The PHP that you need to download depends on what your computer is. I mean, you need to know first kung kayo ba ay merong 32-bit operating system or 64-bit operating system. If you know that already, you can go ahead and download the Windows downloads. No? Kung ang inyong ginagamit ay Windows operating system, you should go here. Okay, and then it will direct us to the page where we can download the different versions and different bit of the PHP. So, paano natin malalaman kung ilang bit ba yung ating computer kung hindi natin alam yon? So, I need you to follow the following steps. So, again, Uunahin muna natin is alamin kung ilang bits ba meron yung computer na ginagamit mo. So, if you don't know that, what you need to make sure is that ano nga ba ang gamit mong ilang bits nga ba ang gamit mo, no? So, I will share you my entire screen para mas makita niya ng maayos. Okay, hold on. Alright. Okay, punta po tayo sa ating File Explorer. Okay, open lang kayo ng inyong File Explorer. And then from there, since I have a Windows 10, most of the laptops and computers I think would be a Windows 10 already. So, kung hindi naman Windows 10 yung inyong gamit, and then go ahead and look for like tutorials for other Windows, no? Pero ito na yung pinaka-most common na normally ginagamit natin at home. So, dito sa iyong File Explorer, hindi ko pala na-discuss. Sa File Explorer, you move your cursor to this PC, right-click, using your mouse, and then go to Properties. So, it will pop up a window of your system specification. So, dito natin makikita kung ano ba yung system type ng inyong device na gamit. So, on my case, it's a 64-bit operating system and I am using Windows 10. So, I will close it. Now that I know that, kasi sa system type, dun mo makikita kung siya ba ay 34-bit or 64. So, now, we go back to the website of php.net. So, dito, kanina, kinlik natin yung Windows downloads, no? May different versions tayo ditong makikita. Meron tayong 64 non-thread safe, 64 thread safe. Now, for some reason, what we are looking for is the 64 thread safe. Now, meron ditong ibang option. Ma'am, paano kapag po ang aking system type is 32-bit? Ano po yung dapat kong i-download? So, then you need to download this by 86. Ito yung pang 32-bit. You click on the thread safe, no? Hanapin niyo yung by 86 thread safe. Then, click the zip file. Then, para sa akin naman, since I am using 64-bit system type, ito po yung aking i-download. The 64-bit thread safe. So, ito yung pinaka-latest natin. So, it will just take some time for the PHP to be downloaded. Siguro, depende sa internet connection nyo, no? But since I already have the, what do you call this? The PHP installed on my end, pupunta na lang ako dun sa downloads kung saan ko din-download yung PHP ko. So, eto, dito nakasave yung aking PHP. What I need to do here is to extract this PHP folder to my local disk C. So, of course, it depends on the computer that you are using. Pwedeng D, pwedeng E, but on my case, it's actually a C directory. So, I will just click on this PHP, right-click, and then extract. So, extract all ko lang siya, and then, pagdating po dito, I have to indicate na pwede ko na itong i-diretso, no? So, since, again, I am using the C, tanggalin ko na lang to para diretso na. So, I will be naming it PHP. Okay, so extract ko lang siya doon. And then, I will wait for this process to finish. Again, it will take some time kasi medyo malaki yung package. So, kaya kailangan lang po nating hintayin na matapos yung ating process. So, okay, no? Ayun guys, after a couple of waiting, natapos nang i-extract ng ating computer yung PHP. So, ito na siya. Nakasave na siya sa local disk C. And then, I have created PHP. folder here kung saan na-extract lahat ng laman ng PHP zip file na dinownload natin kanina. So, ganun lang naman siya kasimple. However, before we can actually use it is, we need to make sure na talagang nagana yung ating PHP. The first thing that we also need to know is to tell our computer where PHP is located so that we can use the entire functionalities of PHP later on. So how do we do that? We are going to set up the environment of our PHP. So we need to go to the environment variables. So to do that, again, if you were able to follow my actions a while ago, you need to go to the search button of your computer, type in environment, and then while you are typing, the control panel will actually be shown on your screen already. So you just click on that, and then the system properties will pop up. Now, under the advanced tab, click on the environment variables, and then look for the path. So the path should include where you save your PHP, no? So what we need to do is to click on the path, edit, and then create a new path. So again, why are we doing this? We are telling our Windows where is the location of your PHP, so that you can use all the functionalities of the PHP software that you just downloaded. So we need to know the exact path of this para mas madaling mahanap yun ng ating Windows. Again, saan ba natin siya in-extract? Sa C, and then sa PHP na folder. So, to get the exact path, you need to click on this, and then copy. So, go back to the environment variable, click on new, and then paste it. So, save PHP, and then click OK. So, there is another window here to click OK. And the last window in the system properties, just click OK. So, from there, I successfully na-download na or na-set na natin pala rather yung path ng ating PHP. So, let us actually try to check if the PHP is working properly, no? So, a while ago, or actually previously, nakapag-create na ako ng folder ko sa PHP, and a sample program. So, ang purpose lang naman natin for this sample program is to make sure that your PHP is working properly. So, I created sample work here using the notepad. So, pakita ko lang sa inyo yung laman niya, no? So, when you are creating PHP, you are just there, indicating the escape command, katulad dito. So, PHP echo. In echo, you are trying to print something on your screen. So, dito on my case, hello world. And then we close it using this tag. So, don't worry because we are going to still discuss the tags and other things that we need to know in PHP. This is just like an exercise for us to make sure that our PHP is properly installed and working already. Now, to run this program, we need to go to the command prompt to check if the PHP is already working. So, as we have discussed a while ago, no, dito natin inilagay yung sample program ko. So, for example, this is your file explorer. You can simply just type in here, cmd. That's it, cmd. And then, it will take you exactly kung saan ba nakasave yung iyong file. On my case, ang file ko ay hello.php. And by the way, when you create a PHP file, don't forget to name or to include the extension name of your PHP, which is .php, no? Ganun lang kasimple. Parang before, kapag nag-create ka ng HTML file, you save it including the .html. This time, you save it using .php. So now, going back to the command prompt, so that we can test if the PHP is really working, we click or we type in PHP space and the name of your file. So in this case, it is hello.php. So we are going to type in hello.php. Now we are expecting for this to work and print the hello world that we typed in a while ago. So in this case, if the program works properly, if the program displays properly, then that means our PHP is working fine. So in case you will be able to experience like errors or problems during installation, just let me know so that I can somehow help you on what you call this, fixing the problem. Kasi the problem that the problem that I have experienced before in installing it might happen to you. But of course, we don't want to jump into conclusion that you will also experience that. So kapag meron lang, and then just let me know para ma-address natin kung paano natin i-correct yung mga errors or possible errors na makikita nyo kapag nag-run kayo ng first program nyo in your PHP. So that's it for our first program in PHP. Ganun lang po kadali, no? So again, kapag nakalimutan kung paano to i-install, you can, go back to my YouTube channel and replay this video so that mabalikan niyo siya at home. Lalo na kung habang nagka-klase tayo ngayon, wala naman tayong device to actually practice it. Well, enough of the PHP installation. A while ago, I told you that you can use like other, what do you call this, other online PHP compilers. So, mag-type lang kayo kay Google ng mga PHP online compilers. Maraming nagpo-provide nito katulad ni W3 Schools, ni One Compiler, ni Doodle rather. So, pwede kayong pumili dyan. In fact, meron na nga rin silang mga crash tutorials kung paano mag-program in PHP. So, ito yung mga options ng mga estudyante na ngayon pa lang nag-aaral ng PHP and they wanted to actually practice the PHP codes kahit sa cellphone lang. Kasi itong W3 Schools and other online compilers can actually work using mobile devices. No, hindi mo na kailangan talagang mag-download and then para lang what do you call this? Para lang makapag-code o ng scripting language na ganito is kailangan pang mag-download ng ibang software. So, ito, if you're a beginner, you can actually try it yourself over here. Click nyo lang siya and then mag-create ng ganitong klaseng environment for you to do the sample works online. No, the problem here is that if you wanted to save it, wala tayong option doon but to save it manually on a notepad, external notepad na meron kayo sa inyong device. So, yun lang siya. At the same time, kung mag-create na kayo ng more dynamic web pages, isang malaking project, so hindi na siya magandang gamitin para doon. Ito lang for beginners lang, for practices and all. So, yun po yung ilan sa mga options natin na pwedeng gamitin kung kayo ay wala pa as of the moment na device na magagamit. However, I would highly recommend for you guys na talagang mag-invest sa computer or laptop. I know na hindi naman lahat is kaya, no, bumili. But it's an investment talaga para sa inyo, no? Kasi eventually, if you will go to your higher years, 3rd year, 4th year, as makikreate na kayo ng mga projects, web-based project, even hindi mga web, kundi mga standalone projects, you really need a computer to do that. Hindi tayo pwedeng laging naka-cellphone lang or mini devices para gawin yung mga projects na yan. So, as early as now, is maganda kung makakapag-ipon na talaga kayo doon sa laptop. Kahit hindi masyadong mataas yung specs, yung enough lang to make projects like this would suffice already. At the end of the day naman, no, kapag gumraduate kayo at kayo talagang natuluyan na sa IT industry, you will make an advantage, or if you can take advantage of that, having your laptops ready with you already. So, there you go, no? Ito yung ating online compiler para sa PHP. Now, ma'am, gusto ko na pong magdiretso sa web server kasi kaya naman po yun ng laptop or computer na gamit ko. So, ang gagawin po natin is to actually go to the, what do you call this? To SAMP folder. To SAMP website. So guys, yung SAMP kasi is just one of the web servers available online. Actually, meron pa tayong tinatawag na WAMP and others. Pero ito, kaya pinili ko na siya kasi ang SAMP includes a lot of add-ons, no? Hindi lang siya basta pang PHP. You can actually use this in many platforms. Pwede siya sa Linux and other platforms, no? Yun lang, medyo hirap yung iba na gamitin ng SAMP kasi marami na nga siyang functionalities. Kung beginner ka, small projects, WAMP will do. So, later on, i-discuss pa natin kung ano-ano yung mga servers na yon. For now, intindihin muna natin is how do we actually install SAMP for Windows na nagamit nyo. Now, ito po yung ating mga available SAMP to download. Again, kailangan alam nyo kung anong system type ang gamit nyo. Kung ito ba ay 32-bit or 64-bit. But, para makita nyo dito. So, now, ang install natin ay yung 64-bit version rather kasi ito yung gamit ko, no? So, actually, naka-install na to sa akin. So, kaya hindi ko na siya i-install ulit. Kapag na-download nyo na siya, sa downloads ko pa rin naman yun. So, kapag na-downloads ko na siya, ayan, meron din akong WAMP server dito. Free naman to. It's an open source, kaya pwede nyo itong i-download. Hindi nyo na kailangan humingi ng installer sa akin. As long as you have the internet connection, pwede kayo mag-download anytime, anywhere. So, just click on the SAMP windows. So, it will just take time, no? So, follow the on-screen instructions. Click on yes. So, sorry. That's why, na-install ko na to kanina kasi masyadong mabagal itong aking laptop. Close ko na muna tong command prompt ko, no? So, ito po. Click OK lang. So, then the next is to click on the next button. Dito, I will not remove any na lang kasi as much as possible, I wanted to install everything or all components of the SAMP. Just click on next and then select the folder where you wanted to install your SAMP. On this case, on the C directory ko siya in-install. And then just click on next. So, sorry dahil na-install ko na siya, magpa-pop up yung ganong error. Kung hindi pa naman kayo nakapag-install, it will just proceed to the next page. So, after a while, the SAMP server will be installed already on your device. So, once you are able to install yung inyong SAMP sa inyong device, this is how it's gonna look like. No, ito yung ating SAMP folder. As nandito yung lahat ng kailangan natin. Katulad ng kung mag-program na kayo using Perl, ayan, using PHP, ito na siya, using PHP MyAdmin. Using PHP MyAdmin is para na din sa ating pag may database na tayo. No? So, yan, and many more functionalities. Nandito na siya lahat. So now, kapag na-install na rin po natin ang SAMP sa ating device, kailangan lang natin siyang i-run on the background. Kasi kapag hindi po natin i-run on the background yung ating sum, is hindi siya mag-work yet. No? So, let us test kung paano ba gagana yung ating sum. Or kung talaga bang nagana na siya rather. I-test muna natin para naman bago tayo makapag-create ng mga projects, alam natin na talagang gumagana na itong ating sum. So, click lang natin yung ating sum control. So, again, kapag medyo nawala kayo, punta lang kayo sa C and then dun sa folder ng sum. Tapos, paki-scroll down, look for the sum control. Ito po yan. It will open this window. And then, dahil nakaran pa rin sa akin yung aking sum, no? So, stop ko lang. Yan. Yan yung magiging itsura niya kapag bago pa lang kayo mag-start ng inyong sum control. For the time being, Apache lang naman yung gagamitin natin. So, on the Apache column or row, click natin yung start. So, once the status has been changed to running, that means your sum is working properly. Ibig sabihin, pwede na kayong mag-code and mag-run ng inyong PHP code sa inyong device. Now, saan po namin, ma'am, ilalagay yung aming mga files? So, this is important. Kailangan organize tayo sa pag-create ng ating project folder. So, hanapin lang natin on the same folder sa SAMP yung HT docs. So, ito yung ating HT docs, ha? Medyo i-zoom in natin. Yan. Yung ating HT docs, dito natin ilalagay yung ating mga projects na gagawin. Pero wag dyan basta-basta na ipapaste dito or dito gagawa. Mag-create kayo ng folder nyo. No? Create po tayo ng folder para doon. New folder. Tapos, lagay natin dito as for example, my project. Okay, so, yan, my project. On this case, wag na po natin lagyan ng special characters or spaces yung pangalan ng project natin. Kung pwede natin isang word o kaya i-separate using underscore. So, sa loob ng my project, dito natin ilalagay yung ating mga files, katulad ng HTML files, CSS, and so on. So, lahat ng klase ng file na gagamitin natin for our project or web project will be placed here. So, for the sake of checking if our SAMP is really working, let's create a sample program. No? Mag-create lang tayo ng text document ulit. So, dito, nag-open ako ng panibagong text or notepad. And then, isa-save ko ito as, for example, a program 1.php. So, huwag niyong kalimutan na baguhin to, save as type all files. No? At ang pangalan nito ay .php. Then, save ko lang. Okay, so as you can see, nag-create siya ng panibagong file. Meron na dong type na PHP. Mahalaga yun kasi baka mamaya ma-save niyo yung inyong file as a text document. Then, hindi yan babasahin ng inyong web browser as a PHP file. So, dito, just like any other HTML program, mag-create tayo ng sample program lang, no? So, katulad ng itinuro ko sa inyo last time, mag-start tayo ng doc type, HTML. So, dito, lagay din tayo ng title, title, sample program, then yung ating head. Dito ko na rin ilalagay yung heading ko para malaki lang. Sample program using SAMP. Tapos, close lang natin yung ating H1 tag at yung ating head. Okay, so sa loob is yung body. And then, yung ating sample PHP, no? So, let's say, magpiprint tayo on screen. Print, welcome to my first program. So, yan. Semicolon, and then i-close lang natin. Don't forget to close the body tag. And then, of course, the HTML tag. So, save lang natin siya by pressing the Ctrl S on our keyboard. So, yan na po yung ating first program. Save lang natin. Later on naman kung may error dito sa ginawa ko, medyo medyo antok na. Pero kung may error naman dito is makikita naman natin yon kasi magkaka-error yun mismo sa browser. So, ngayon, iraran na natin yung ating program using SAMP. So, again, kailangan na-activate na po natin yung Apache server natin. Dapat nagraran na ito before it actually works on your web browser. So, this time, i-open na po natin yung ating web browser. So, on the URL bar, type natin dito yung localhost. Okay, so, localhost / kung ano yung pangalan ng folder mo. Na kung hindi mo pa alam or nakalimutan mo yung folder na ginawa mo, you have to go back to your folder. So, dito, nasa htdocs siya at ang pangalan ay my project. So, balik tayo sa web browser natin. Type natin my project. And then, enter. So, lalabas dito yung content na meron tayo sa ating folder. Kanina kasi may ginawa tayong new text document. Ignore lang natin yun. Wala namang laman yun. So, dito, i-click lang natin yung program1.php na yun din yung ginawa natin kanina, no? Ito lang yun, no? So, pwede ko itong i-delete since wala naman tong purpose talaga. Tira na lang natin yung program 1 to make it simple. And then, let's go back to our web browser. So, dito dahil hindi pa natin nare-refresh, andun pa rin yung new text document, refresh lang natin. So, para mawala na. And then, click on program 1. So, yun lang, no? Sa web browser, hindi siya talaga real time. Kailangan mo pang mag-refresh dun sa web browser mismo para mag-take effect yung mga changes na ginawa mo. So, you click on program 1 and then, lalabas na yung ginawa natin doon sa ating web page. So, yun na. Ito na po yung first program natin using SAMP. So, I hope guys na medyo naiintindihan na kung paano gamitin ang ating SAMP at kung paano siya i-install, saan siya i-download. So, again, kung meron man kayong question regarding that, na-post ko naman sa ating tutorial vid kung saan siyang website pupuntahan. And sa panahon ngayon, madali na itong itanong kay Google. So, you can just simply ask Google kung saan siya. But still, I already included the links to download PHP and SAMP on our module. So, guys, for any questions, just let me know. That's actually it for our first lesson, no? So, I hope na na-discuss natin yung kinakailangan nating malaman when it comes to PHP. So, in fact, ang susunod natin na magiging topic is yung how to code in PHP na. So, discuss natin yung mga variables, comments, constant, and other things that we need to learn in PHP so that we can move forward on coding in PHP. So, for now, that's all, guys. And let me know if you have questions in installing our PHP and SAMP server. So, the rest of the time is intended for you guys to actually do it on your own. Kailangan nyo na pong ma-install yung inyong SAMP server and other matters. So, later on, magkakaroon tayo ng groupings para dun sa mga projects nyo. Kasi I am planning that you will be grouped para naman hindi kayo masyadong mahirapan kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng mga projects, hands-on activities. So, what I wanted is for you guys to experience collaborative learning, siguro pag-usapan na lang natin kung ano ba, kung kayo ba ay magiging by group, kung ilan ang acceptable sa isang grupo. And at the same time, ang gusto ko sanang mangyari is bawat group merong isang estudyante na merong laptop or computer para naman hindi mahirapan yung grupo na makapagpasa ng activities. And then, of course, yung pinaka-leader nyo will determine kung sino ba yung mga or ano-ano yung mga task na dapat hatiin sa bawat miyembro ng grupo. And at the same time, i-report kung sino ba ang member na hindi naman natulong. Now, for the members naman, pwede yun din namang i-report yung inyong leader kung siya mismo ang hindi natulong. So, I need to know that kasi magiging unfair tayo pagdating sa grading system. Kasi every time na magpasa kayo ng activity, whatever grade your group has will be the grade of every members, no? Regardless kung hindi siya tumulong o ano. Kasi hindi ko naman alam yon. You have to let me know kung hindi ba tumulong yung isang miyembro or dalawang miyembro nyo. Kaya, iyon is dapat po nating mai-address kaagad. Kasi hindi pwedeng laging freeloader yung isang teammate mo. Kaya nga siya team para kayo ay tumulong sa bawat isa. So, ayun lang. For the rest of the time, mag-groupings na muna tayo.